What's up? What's up? What's up? As
What's
promised,
up?
you've been seeing the flyers, you've been seeing the reels, and you've been seeing us promoting that. I am Diamond Ballet,
And I'm Brittany Daisy.
and welcome to Good Girls Wild Thoughts
Hey,
Podcast.
hey, hey, hey. Oh, this is so
It
exciting.
really is. This has been a long time coming, girl. They have no clue today.
Listen, a long time.
I'm grateful though. I'm truly, truly, truly grateful for all of this. So we are two best friends that came together, and we like to deem ourselves as consecrated creatives, where we have freedom conversations that liberate us with experiences through womanhood, beliefs, and self-discovery. And so tonight y'all gonna get a little piece of that. Tonight y'all gonna get a
Yeah.
little piece of that, a little piece of our interaction, what we learn and stuff. You know, and
Yes, so let's just get right into it. It's January 21st,
yeah.
2023.
Wow, Daisy. 2020. Isn't that crazy?
It is. It
Jordan
is.
here. We bought it
Yes.
here.
And it's like when you just think about like when we started talking
Yeah.
about this
Yeah.
and we're here. Like we
Yeah.
are finally here and I'm just
Yeah.
so excited.
It's been a journey.
But no, for real. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the journey. Let's start there.
Mm-hmm.
This segment, again, this is episode 1, so y'all gonna get familiar with how we do things here. We're going to start off with what we like to call a chatty patty, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's literally what we are. We are chatty patties. This
Yeah.
whole podcast started off from a phone conversation,
Yeah.
okay? Literally, a phone conversation in 2017
Yeah.
that lasted hours, days, weeks, and literally years.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have been, I know this sounds so simple, but we have literally been talking on the phone since 2017. Like,
We literally have. That's how our friendship formed. To be
yes,
honest,
yes.
me and Daisy have history of going to the same schools, but not really, being friends or you really, personal with each other. And then fast forward, we had a mutual friend, and we became friends. And she was in another state, and I was in my state, and the phone call became life.
Life. Like, we literally built a friendship through the
Yeah,
phone.
yeah,
So, we are chatty patties. We love to run our mouth from the silliest thing to the most thought provoking thing and
yeah,
everything in between.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So we have a lot to say. I think it's so special that we have like two different perspectives, but we always
yeah.
kind of like find a middle ground on
I
whatever it is. Our two very different journeys seem to like collide very well.
Yeah.
And so we just wanted to share all of this goodness, all of this conversation with
Yeah.
the world. So we
Yeah.
letting y'all eavesdrop on our conversations. So, we 80s, 90s babies. So we gonna put y'all on three-way. And
Right.
and
That's a
we
good
are
one. I
going
like that.
and we
Welcome
are
to the
going to
three-way.
have yes. And it's gonna be some wild conversation,
Yeah.
okay? So
Thought provoking, wild, deep, like just everything. Like I come up from a place, we was talking about it. Like I come from a place that's all about submission, and she comes from a place all about execution. So you're gonna get a lot of different perspectives
yeah.
messing around with us.
All right, so I want
Okay.
you to kind of talk to us about why we chose January 21st to launch.
Mm. January 21st is a special day. So 121 came about because I have a brand that talks about fear. And there is a scripture that it stands on, Deuteronomy 1 and 21. And it says, now the Father of your forefathers, I tell you to go up and possess the land. And when you talk about fear, fear holds us back from a lot of things. And so Deuteronomy 121 is the Lord reassuring you that not only have I told those before you, but I'm also telling you again, go and take the land because it's rightfully yours. And so every year on 121, I do something to encourage the people to launch, encourage the people to do what they need to do. Like we all know at the top of the year, everyone do their fast or their challenges, and it takes 21 days to create a habit, and usually you do 21 days of a thing. And so it was only right that to end your fast, to end your challenge on the 21st, you be reminded, like, all of that juice you got from your diets and fasts and prayer time and all that stuff, go get it. Whatever you got going on, go get it.
Go get it.
Today is very special in 2023 because me and Daisy came and we getting it. We going to get it. You know what I mean? Like, this
leaving no crumbs.
No breadcrumbs. You're gonna be starving. So me and Daisy have been working on this podcast for a while now, probably a year or more, and just every month we were doing something to it. But for some reason, something was still there where we wasn't launching. But separately in our own journeys, you know, she's been told to speak, I've been told to speak, you know, by the Lord, and we still haven't done it yet. Like, we do it, and we was doing it sparingly, and we was doing it because people called us to their platforms. Right. But it was something that God gave you and me, and we haven't yet to do it. And so today is very special because not only are we launching and going and possess the land and taking what's rightfully ours, and finally, you know, managing and stewarding well what the Lord has given us, we are encouraging y'all to do the same thing too. So it's about y'all, but it's about us too. So we gonna get ours regardless. we gonna get ours.
Right. And so I guess when we're talking about launching and doing all of these things, and even the purpose of the podcast and why it's called Good Girls Wild Thoughts, is because we want to give you the most raw version of what this journey looks like. Yeah. So like you just said, like, you know, we thought this up over a year ago, and yes, we were working on things, but there were challenges, there was fear, there was procrastination, there was, you know, laying it to the side for a minute, not making it a priority. And I want not just this conversation about fear and launching, but literally everything we talk about to be the most authentic and straight up conversation that you'll ever have. Like, we really not, like she said, we gonna get ours either way because we've been getting it and we gonna keep getting it. But we really want to like help other women, other creatives, especially believing creatives to not be afraid of the challenges, not be afraid of the journey, and to just go forth. Like, literally push past all of the hindrance, all of the barriers to get what you need to get and do what you need to do.
No facts. No facts. So we're not coming off as experts, but we're coming off as believers with experiences. And believers with experiences who is not afraid to challenge whatever questioning, lingering thought, because that's how we do the deeper work. And so for my personal journey with, you know, shutting up fear and pushing forward, I guess for me, I have always wanted to make sure my voice was perfect before I did a thing God wanted me to do. I think Daisy, you know, we talk about that. I feel like I wanted my voice to be perfect, and Daisy wanted the look of it to be perfect. And so on the journey with shutting up fear and getting to this point, my personal journey has been, I heard the Lord say something, I'm journeying through, but I fall off and get distracted. But what I realized what I had to do was pitch a tent. And I had to pitch a tent on the journey of all of this new territory. Well, God, like, I'm not a big talker, but I can talk. I'm a big thinker. And then it's like, you want me to speak? But what you want me to speak about? You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have a clue about none of these things. And so I had to, you know, go to God about it. Like, okay, well, you told me to do this thing, so what you want me to do? You know, like, I had to pretend, you know, like.
Okay, so wait, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you, but what do you mean? Explain to us what you mean by pitching a tent. What is that?
Yeah, so like, okay, so pitching a tent came from the days of Abraham. So when the Lord told Abram at that time to leave his family, go out, you know, I got something for you, go ahead and go and pitch a tent. And so Abram was traveling through all these foreign places that he had no clue, but he was being obedient, you know, and he had to pitch a tent. He had to set up to sleep, but also set up to pray, to ask the Lord, what's going on? Like, all right, we made it to the next destination. What's here? What's happening? what am I doing? You know what I mean? Because sometimes, like, when you are obedient to the Lord, you have no clue what's happening. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
your faith is sight unseen. You know what I mean? You have no choice but to hang on. It's almost like being blindfolded and just walking. Like, you're going to keep asking, am I close? Am I there yet? You know what I mean? And so for me, on the journey of shutting up fear and getting to the place of using my voice, I had to do what Abraham done, which is setting up rooms in my home, or being intentional in my own life. Maybe it's in my car, of praying and saying, okay, God, I see that I'm in a new place. What is this about? You know what I mean? Like, I had
Yeah.
to, like, stop, reflect where I am, and then ask, okay, from here, where do I go next? So that's what pitching a tent was for me in my journey. And I
Okay.
think that's what finally is getting me here with you on our platform, is as I go with the sight unseen, but knowing God told me what to do, I must continue to seek Him and how to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's unfamiliar and it was so scary. So that's my personal experience. And so from my personal experience, we hope that we can help guide our sisters with them. Like, maybe they
Yeah.
have had, you know, some journeys that they had a pitch a tent or not. But do you think for you, Daisy, like, you have any, what was your journey like for us getting here to launching today? Like, did fear play a part? Because fear was a part for me. Again, I wanted my voice to be perfect before I can do it. But it's like, oh, we building a plane while we flying, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's where we at now. Like, we just gonna build it
Right.
and fly. We gonna fly and just build it as we go.
So I feel like my pitching a tent, I think when I lived in Virginia, that was me pitching a tent. Like, so I think before Virginia, I was like, just like kind of like discovering who I was as a woman, what I wanted to do, what my calling was. And I was like excited and ready and fearless, like all these things. And then I moved around a couple of times. I ended up in Virginia, a place where it was like, it gave me a lot of solitude and alone time. And so even though I didn't realize it or acknowledge it as like pitching a tent, when I look back, it was like, it was my tent. It was me pitching a tent to stop there, to pray, to reflect, to figure
Yeah.
things out. So I don't know if mine was more so much fear. I would say honestly, it was like irritation. Like
What
I'm
does
ready to,
irritation mean, girl?
because I was ready to do things and to go forth, and I felt like I knew, like I felt like I had the answers, and then all of a sudden stuff just was changing, and I was unsure about a lot. So I feel like I was like kicking and screaming the whole way. Like, yeah, I was praying and trying to figure it out, but I was still like kicking and screaming, very unsure of what was really happening.
So you was irritated by how things were not functioning in the way you
Yes.
thought it should go. Yeah.
So like you said, like pitching a tent is like, okay, let me stop here, let me figure it out, like let me regroup, let me prepare, let me pray, all of that.
Yeah.
But I wasn't ready to pause just yet.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't my plan. Like I was ready to go
Yeah.
forth, and so it did, but that time gave me a lot of alone time, not just with myself to figure out and further discover myself, but to also build a very personal relationship with God, to question things that I grew up believing or that I was taught, or just a lot. It was a time for a lot of undoing for me, which was not fun. Like, so that's why I say like a word like irritation. Like, it wasn't fun. It was hard. It was very challenging to undo and to strip things away in
Yeah.
order to become. So now, bringing us here, launch day, the scripture said, go forth,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm finally ready. Like, so I pitched a tent, I figured it all out, I stripped away
Yeah.
things. And now I'm like, all right, boom, I got it. I'm here. I'm launching, not just in the podcast, but into everything that I feel like
Yeah.
I'm
Personal.
called to,
Yeah.
or, and even just in my womanhood in general, like
Yeah.
outside of like business or spiritual, just like who I am, like a confident, sure woman in what I'm
Yeah.
doing, a confident and sure wife, a confident and sure friend, like all of these things. I feel like it's time. I'm here, and it's like, all right, let me pack my tent up, let me put all my tools in my backpack, and let me
Yeah.
go. But because now I have more experience. I feel like the next time God calls me to pitch a tent and pause, I'm not going to be afraid. I'm not going to be irritated
Right.
because now I understand
The
and
work that comes
appreciate
with
the
it.
process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you understand, and I agree with you about your understanding now what pitching a tent is like. Is like it's going to come with work,
Yeah.
regardless. Some work is shallow, some work is medium, and some work is very, very deep. It's just about the
Mm-hmm.
obedience and the timing in which he told you to do a thing. Like I
Yeah.
feel like I made it harder on myself by taking all these years to finally do it. You know what I mean? Like I
Mm-hmm.
caused myself a lot of mental torment about a thing God said to do. And it's like, I don't think I would have that as much mental torment I experienced. I don't think I would have had it as much because the enemy will still attack you and whatever. I don't think I would have had it as much if I just would have acted when he said it. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like
Yeah.
sometimes when God speak and when you act right away, that timing is necessary because it be some sauce on it. And not saying when you finally do it, there's no sauce. It's just, it may be different because the journey you had to go through, the sauce don't feel the same. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you now. Like I'm ready. But I wanted to talk about that because you said like I felt like I was ready. So it's like, what do you think like ready feels like? Because we're launching
Mm-hmm.
today. Like, do you feel like you felt ready today? You know what I mean? Like, you know how we always say we ready to do a thing,
Yeah.
but it's like, what does ready even feel like? Because sometimes just starting and then, you hear successful stories. I just started and it just became successful. I just
Yeah.
started and I failed, whatever the case may be. Does that mean you're ready? You know what I mean? Or,
Mm-hmm.
well, I don't know. What do you think
So I
about
think like naive me would say feeling ready equates to like excitement. Like, oh, I'm excited. I got the ideas and like, yeah, let's
that?
go.
That.
I think Brittany Daisy with experience and maturity is like being ready is being confident of the journey ahead. So whatever that looks like. So
Yeah.
literally being in the wild, right?
Yeah.
Like rolling with the punches, knowing that you have the tools and you're equipped to handle the challenges, to be willing to submit if it's a pause that's needed or if it's a push through,
Yeah.
right? So now ready to me, I guess equates more to like having wisdom,
Yeah.
versus
Yeah.
excitement.
I like that. Ready means I understand and have wisdom of that the journey ahead is going to require me to do more work, deep work,
Yeah.
whatever.
Hmm.
Like that's when you know you're ready. That's good. Like I know what I'm ready when I understand, the contract.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
I understand what's about to come ahead. So
Yeah.
no, that's good. But it is like a new year. So where do you feel like, I guess, where are we at now with our tents? You know,
Oh.
I feel like for me, I have pitched a tent of, I think everybody been saying 2023 is me. And I
Hmm.
think I fall in
Hmm.
that category because I'm such a person who's such a helper and everything. So I think my tent has been pitched in the place of discipline
Hmm.
in my health specifically, but discipline and health is my areas of where my new tent is placed. Like I think like in the past it used to be about creativity, business, motherhood, how can I collaborate, be with people, the children, because I work with kids, But I think this year where I'm at with my tent is dwelling with him even more intimately and vulnerably and growing in that space, but more importantly, becoming disciplined in a thing
Yeah.
that I've been avoiding, and then also healing internally completely with my health. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? And learning that,
That's
So
good.
that's where my 10 at 2023.
Okay. No, I like that. Mine is similar. And before I get into mine, I do want to say that I see we have some viewers. So shout out to
Hey y'all.
y'all. This is episode 1. So
Share it to
if you
y'all Instagram.
have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them below. We'll acknowledge it, answer, and all that good stuff. So definitely interact with us. That's why we're
Yeah.
live. We want to hear from y'all. So
Yeah.
if you have anything to say, if you agree with what we're saying, if you, whatever it is, feel free. We definitely want to hear and see from y'all as well. But so I guess this year, very similar. I think that's like a general consensus. Like I've so many people that I know personally and even on social media is like, oh, this year is about me. It's about my discipline and, like all things like that. And I think the same for me. This year is really about showing up for myself and honoring my word to myself. Like if I say I'm going to do something, do it. If I say I'm going to implement a habit, following through with that thing. I think I pride myself in being a woman of integrity with others and other things that I do and commitments that I set for outside things. But this year is really about having that same integrity and trusting myself that I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do for me. Yeah. So if it's eating better, if it's, managing my finances better, if it's taking care of my house, whatever those things are, like it's really about setting the intention and following through. Yeah. And I know that doing those very small things, kind of like falling back, is going to help me launch. Like it's going to give me so many great results that I'm not going to have a choice but to continue moving forward because I'm laying that foundation now.
No, I like that. I think I struggled in the past with follow through too. And we be talking about deep stuff. All of our stuff don't even be like, oh God, everything. It really be like therapy work, things that we do in our sessions. So I think follow through used to be an issue for me, regarding like that whole self-worth or being confident in what you're doing and whatever. And so I think just the past few years, I have learned the importance of follow through because it's not just for you sometimes, it's for somebody else. So us following through with this podcast is for those that's watching, those who will hear it, and whoever choose to, engage with the material and with the conversation. Yeah. So follow through was what issue for me, but I think now, it's cool. But where do you feel like, is there any more, because this is 121, go and possess it. And I know this podcast for you and I have been a huge land that we've been supposed to possess. Do you feel like you got any more lingering ones that you still got to go get? You know what I mean? Or is there some new ones the Lord said? So like the top of 23, ours is, mine is discipline, yours is follow through, and doing the things you said you're going to do. But it's like, did you get some summoning from the Lord? That's a new one. That's like, I've been told you to do that and you ain't did that yet.
I don't think anything outside of this. I think forever God told me to use my voice to speak, so I think this is it. I think the obedience is right here and I'm just kind of open to whatever follows, so I think know that obedience
is right here though.
Do I know that there's more? Yes, but I'm like not trying to put that pressure. It's just kind of like I'm just submitted and ready to see what happens.
No, same. The obedience is right here.
Yeah.
Right here. Hey, be right here. Come on. No fear.
Okay, yes. And disclaimer, Diamond is like a little human radio. So she often speaks in song.
So get ready for it.
Get ready.
We might have to 30 do like seconds or less because I don't know if it's copywritten or not.
So. Right, exactly. We do not own the rights to Diamond.
We do not. Not at all. But that was the perfect song for today.
Yeah.
Right here, be right here. No fear.
Cynthia said absolutely stay focused on myself. Like, I feel like that's just like the general consensus of so many people that I've heard. And which I think is amazing because I think, especially as women, we give to others so often, like whether it's our spouse, our children, our job, friends, social organizations, all this stuff. Like we're always giving. Our parents, like we're always in a space to give, to serve, to help out, to figure things out for the family, like just everything. So
I had a revelation.
I love it.
About that the other day. I did a devotional one of these particular mornings, and the meditation, it came from like 2 Timothy. Don't quote me, guys, but I'm just remembering the revelation I got. It was like 2 Timothy 2:1, and it was talking about essentially how we are to intercede and we are to, pray for others and we are to do these things. And, the devotion, it gives you the other synopsis. And it dawned on me. I said, oh, wow, God, all this time I've been trying to, I physically have been helping others. And that's what a lot of us do. Like you said, a lot of us women, mothers, wives, we physically put ourselves in position to help others. And then that in turn leaves us burnt out and all these different things. But when I read that scripture in the devotion, it dawned on me like, oh my God, Lord, this entire time I should have been interceding for others and helping myself physically.
Oh, wow.
Because when I help myself physically and do what God told me to do,
You're
I
very
then in
true.
turn build what the Lord told me to do for those that I intercede for to come and take part of it.
Wow.
And it was
that's deep.
I've been putting this all in my own strength.
Oh, yes.
Like physically, I can come there. I can help you with this. I can help you with that. You feel good today, but after a while, baby, you're going to get burnt out. And so it's like, if you have Holy Spirit, intercede for those people. They're going to be all right. God is greater, like he's omnipotent. He's omnipresent. You know what I mean? Not you, intercede from them. And then my job is to be obedient, build up what he told me to do. And that brought me back to the days of Noah. He told him to do a thing, and what he built was a whole ark. And that ark was built so people can get on it and stay, right? So imagine us doing everything for everybody and never building the ark. Where they gonna go?
Right.
You do what I told you to do. So
your theme for this year is get somebody else to do it. Get somebody else to do it. I can pray for you, but get somebody else to do it.
I was about to say that. I got a prayer for you. You want to pray right now? Because for real, okay, so for example, you and I doing this, we easily could be on the phone giving somebody advice. But it's like, let me just pray for you. And what we're building right now, they can go back and listen to it.
Yeah.
You get so that was a good devotion that I did that morning. They gave me deep revelation, get somebody else to do it and, be obedient. What you say?
Right.
Obedience is here, so that was good. So shout out to Cynthia, saying she putting herself first. We completely agree that you should.
And let this podcast be a part of your self-care. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you want that alone time to get away from whatever those responsibilities are, just tune in to the Good Girls Wild Thoughts podcast.
And just let us help you.
Yes. let us help you navigate this wild world. Wow. This journey of womanhood. Yeah. But yeah, this was so good. I'm very excited. Yeah. I think, again, I'm just so happy and grateful that we finally were able to push past all of the limitations and barriers to get here. And we just have so much more in store.
Man. Y'all don't want to miss these next topics we got, okay?
We got some juicy, good
They're
stuff.
real juicy, because I like juicy food.
I feel like this one was giving Bible study, but
yeah, and that's only because we set the tone. We just set the tone, letting y'all know today was a special day, and then the tone of us is Jesus. That's the tone of us.
Yes, but it's gonna be so much more for real. It's really about women navigating life, womanhood, sisterhood, self-discovery, all the things, being wild, the raw, the things that other people are afraid to talk about.
Yeah. As believers, as Black women, Black women believe in Jesus, they don't want to say it, we're going to say it.
Exactly. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
But our last little segment is our Valley Quotes.
Yeah.
And that's just where we want to just leave you with a piece of a little snippet of something we've been pondering on, thinking about, a little quick one-liner to carry you through to the next episode.
Yeah. Often we find ourselves in wilderness with no whales, you know? And so Valley Quotes is our way to draw from the whale. It's a quote that has helped us in the wilderness, but also where you can pull and get some fresh water from. So what would be your Valley quote?
So it's funny you said whale, because just came to me. My Valley quote is gonna be in honor of my homegirl, one of the wild women of the Bible.
Oh,
The woman at the well. Okay, that's my girl. But basically, the woman at the well, like, she did not have the standard Christian life or identity at all, but she was doing what she was supposed to do, and she met Jesus, and her whole everything changed, right? And so my Valley quote would be literally to do what you're supposed to be doing, and God will meet you where you are. And that's it. Drop the mic. What's yours?
You just got to drop my face. Oh, that's a good one. Do what you're supposed to be doing. What yours was?
I said, do what you're supposed to be doing, and God will meet you where you are.
And mine is more or less about being found in my doing.
Okay.
You know, so for me, when I do what he told me to do, he got me.
He got you. Yeah.
He'll give me the next step. So my Valley quote, be found in your doing. Whatever he told you to do, do it.
Good. I love it.
I love it too.
All right. Do we have any announcements for the people?
Yeah. So guys, we're going to be doing live podcasts more often than you think. Okay, because it's time. We going to possess it. So you can find us on YouTube at Good Girls Wild Thoughts Podcast. We would like for you to subscribe, because that's where we're going to live at. We're going to continue to go live on Facebook. We have our page here. Make sure you like, share with others, and then you can find us on Instagram at Good Girls Wild Thoughts Podcast at all platforms. Our AKA name that you see at the bottom of the screen is GGWT. Yes. So anytime you see GGWT or Good Girls Wild Thoughts, that is me, Diamond Ballet, and my bestie, Brittany Day. So make sure you guys follow us, share, and all the good things. And this is going to also be audio available on our podcast platform. So make sure you follow us, see our flyers, see where you can catch us. And yeah, follow us on Instagram. You want to give your individual handles on Instagram, Days?
Yeah, so my personal Instagram is Brittany or Daisy, spelled the regular way. No extraness for the Brittany or Daisy.
And you can find me on Instagram at Miss MS Diamond, the way Diamond is spelled, Ballet, BALLET. Thank y'all for tuning in. We really appreciate it. It's 121, Daisy. We did
it. Yes, 121. All right. Love y'all. Have a good evening.
Peace.